Hey guys, so like we did with the Striker Titan, today we're going to be looking at the new Warlock subclass, the Dawnblade, although minus all of my thoughts on the new subclass format and whatnot, since we already talked about it in the Striker Titan video. If you missed it, go check out that video. Your super is Daybreak. You whip out the big sword and launch a bunch of projectiles at your enemies whenever you swing. The projectiles are somewhat big and feel like they sort of have an arc to them. It didn't feel impossible to get away from the projectiles. You do need to aim, pretty well, otherwise people can just jump around out of the way of them, at least for PvP. You can't use the sword in a traditional way like a heavy weapon or anything. You'll still just launch projectiles when you're on the ground. So in your grenade slot, you will find the grenades of old: solar, fireball, and fusion grenades. They all operate in the same way, although fusion grenade is no longer a one-shot in PvP anymore, but still deals pretty heavy damage. Your jump options are the same as Sunsinger as well: balanced and controlled glide and focused burst. From what I was able to tell, focused burst still felt mainly the same, although I've heard different things from people. I didn't do enough jumping to really come to any sort of conclusion. The Dawnblade class ability is Rift, spec'd in two ways. You got Healing Rift, which slowly heals over time at about what feels like the typical rate of recovery on average. And you have Empowering Rift, which boosts the damage of anyone standing in it by, I think the number was 20%. So a lot of people were worried about healing in Destiny, healing classes and stuff like that, and the Healing Rift is a pretty nice way to quickly get back into the fight. However, it's not healing people fast enough that it's impossible to kill them while they are in the Rift itself. It's not exactly the smartest idea to try to fight someone in the Rift, but you can out-damage their healing enough to kill them. You also gain an overshield when you're in the Rift if you're at full health. As for the Empowered Rift, it would not surprise me at all if Warlocks became the new Titans in raids specifically for this damage boost. It's pretty nice to have for burning bosses, although it's a very, very different experience compared to just grabbing a buff from Ward of Dawn and then moving around. With the Rift, you gotta stand still like a Golgoroth pool, and obviously with Ward of Dawn is also protection. This is not protection at all. I do not know if multiple rifts can stack on top of each other. My guess would be no, but that is still unknown information. In the top perk block called Attunement of Skye, we have the following perks. Skyfire, where Descend causes explosive damage where you land while Daybreak is active. What is Descend? Well, it's right here in the next perk. Phoenix Dive, where you hold circle to quickly go to the ground and regenerate some health. Risen Angel is essentially Angel of Light. Aiming in the air causes you to stick there in the air, but precision hits let you stay there for a little bit longer. Finally, Igniting Touch is basically Brimstone. It is Attunement of Skye's melee attack, igniting enemies and causing them to explode if you get the killing blow on them. So, Attunement of Skye, pretty fitting. Obviously, this block is all about aerial gameplay and stuff you do in the air and things like that. In the other block, we have Firestarter as the melee attack, where you gain movement and reload speed when you use it. We have Blazing Dash, double tap circle for a mid-air dash. I imagine that'll be Twilight Garrison-esque in nature. Everlasting Flames, killing with your super extends the duration, nothing too crazy there. And Wildfire, engage your enemies in mid-flight, fire weapons, and throw grenades while gliding. This perk was pretty interesting to me. Right now, when you're gliding, if you go to shoot, you just immediately start falling to the ground. But with this, the descent to the ground is probably a lot slower while shooting. Need to see this in action first. Need to see how accuracy in the air while gliding is affected. If there's no accuracy, distortion, or anything like that, then I think this could be pretty interesting, even though you're just a giant floating moving target. But if you still suffer in-air accuracy penalties, then it might not be as interesting. This appears to be a more well-rounded subclass block, although it still very much focuses on aerial combat and play. I guess Bungie wants people to utilize aerial play a little bit more with this subclass. Hopefully, Wildfire still has pretty good accuracy while you're in the air while gliding. So that is your quick recap of the Dawnblade subclass for Warlocks. One of my worries is that the subclasses might become too homogenized with all the roaming supers and them kind of operating in similar ways, especially with a lot of perks that like, oh, it extends the duration whenever you get a kill for everybody. But that's mainly just comparing supers. I do like how each class has a class ability that starts to define them a little more individually. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys on Dawnblade. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time.